Welcome to Cuckoo Crazy Crochet. Hi, my name is Ronnie and today we will be making the snowman holding a Christmas light. What you will need is a pair of scissors, 4mm hook, a stitch marker, darning needle, 5 eyes with safety backs, a few pins, some white yarn, some black yarn, some green yarn, some red yarn, a little bit of orange yarn, and some fiber fill. Get your white hooks ready. Get your hooks and your white yarn ready and we'll begin. First you will need to make a magic circle. With 6 single crochets. And close your magic circle. Now we need to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. You should now have 12 stitches. And I put my I put my stitch marker in the last single crochet I did. Round 3. 1 single crochet in the next stitch and 2 single crochets in the following stitch. This is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the second stitch. You should now have 18 stitches. For round 4, we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then 2 single crochet in the following. This is your repeat. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, in the third stitch, 2 single crochet. You should now have 24 stitches. round 5, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and in the 4th stitch 2 single crochets. This will be your repeat all the way around, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and in the 4th stitch 2 single crochets. You should now have 30 stitches. Round 6, 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, two single crochet in the 5th stitch. This is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and 2 single crochet in the 5th stitch. You should now have 36 stitches. For the next 6 rounds, we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of each round, you still should have 36 stitches. And when I'm done with my 6 rounds, I will be back. This is what your snowman should look like so far. I wanted to mention, if you get lost during your project, each of these lumps of rows, that's 1 single crochet, or that's 1 row all the way around. Starting at the bottom right here, this is where we put the 2 single crochets in each stitch. If you count from there, always count on the right side of your stitch marker. You count the rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The last single crochet row of the snowman should be the 12th row. This is what I'm on now. So now we're going to start the 13th row. And it is 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then a single crochet decrease. You can do any kind of single crochet decrease you like, but this is the single crochet decrease that I use. Your repeat is 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, a single crochet decrease. You should now have 30 stitches around. Row 14. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. And this is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and a single crochet decrease. You should now have 24 stitches. Row 15. In this row, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. you should still have 24 single crochets around. Row 16, 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. This is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. You should now have 18 stitches, and this is what your snowman should be looking like. Now it's time to put in the 3 buttons on the belly. So get 3 of your eyes, I put the stitch marker in the back, and I place my first button about right there. Then I find the hole that's right above it, trying to make a straight line. When you get done placing your eyes, they should be hopefully in a straight line like this. You should have at least 1 row in between each button and at least 2 rows from the top. So once you're satisfied with the way your buttons are, you need to put your backs on them. And make sure you get them as tight as possible. And this is what mine looks like so far. So now we need to stuff it just a little bit. Make sure you push down deep around on all the sides, making sure you get every space. I like to make mine firm. You can put in as little or a lot of stuffing. That's kind of your preference. That's good. Once you're happy with the way it is, put your stuffing aside, get your hook ready, and we'll continue. Row 17. One single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet decrease. With the stuffing in here, it makes it just a little bit harder to hold, so I put my fingers on the inside and I hold it with my thumb. And it makes it easier to place your stitches. So your repeat for this row is one single crochet in the first stitch and then a single crochet decrease. You should now have 12 stitches around. Row 18. In this round we're just going to put one single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of the round you should still have 12 single crochets. Row 19. Now we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. You should now have 24 stitches. Row 20. One single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochets in the following stitch. This is your repeat all the way around. One single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochets in the following stitch. And you should now have 36 stitches. For rounds 21, 22, 23, and 24, we're just going to put one single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of each round, you should still have 36 stitches. Row 25. One single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. This is your repeat all the way around. One single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. You should now have 26 stitches around. Round 26. One single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet decrease in the following 2 stitches. This is your repeat all the way around. One single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet decrease. You should now have 18 stitches all the way around. Row 27. In this row we're just going to put one single crochet in each stitch around. You should still have 18 stitches all the way around. And this is what your snowman should be looking like. Now it's time to put the eyes in. So we're going to come down here to the bottom of the neck, or the top of the neck, right there, and we're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In between the 6th and 7th row, which would be 3rd row from the top, we're going to put in his eyes. And what I do is I find his belly buttons, and then I try and line them up so that the belly buttons are in between the eyes. You want to have 6 holes in between the eyes. So if you pull on your work a little bit, you should be able to find the holes. That looks good. So once you're satisfied with the way your eyes look, then you need to put the backs on them. And once you have your eyes on, then you need to get your stuffing out so we can finish stuff this part of it anyway. I'm going to take just a little bit and I'm going to stuff it down in the neck. And now I'm going to stuff the head. Oh, just a minute, I need more stuffing. So I'm going to finish stuffing the head and then I'll be back. And just like the body, you can put a little or a lot in your head. I like my head to be firm too. Now we have 2 more rounds and then we're done. (28) One single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet decrease. So your repeat for this row is 1 single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet decrease. These next 2 rows are going to be a little trying, so just take your time and you'll make it. You should now have 12 stitches around. Last row. On this row, we're just going to do a single crochet decrease all the way around. You should have 6 single crochets all the way around when you're finished. You may remove your stitch marker and fasten off your yarn. Leave a long tail for sewing, and I'll be back when mine's done. After I work my last stitch, I like to put I like to slip stitch into the next stitch. Now we're going to leave a long tail and make a knot. If you need to add more yarn at this time, if you need to add more stuffing at this time, you need to go ahead and do it. I think I'll add just a little bit more. Once you're satisfied, get your darning needle. I dropped it on the floor, just a minute. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to weave in between these stitches, in and out, and in and out all the way around. Until you get back where you started. Pull tight and that hole should close. Then I make a knot. I'm going to stick it down inside his head and come out a hole. And then I take the yarn and I move down towards the bottom. Remember, whatever hole you come out, go in that same hole. And try not to split your work. Split the yarn, it will mess up your work. Once you're at the bottom, we're going to put like an X at the bottom of the snowman, right where we put our 2 single crochets in each stitch. Then you're going to pull tight just a little bit. What this does as it flattens the bottom just a little bit, and it helps the snowman stand up. So once you get done with that, I hide the yarn a couple of times. Now I need to pull up on the yarn and hold it in place and cut as close to the snowman as you can. Once you do that, the yarn will suck right back in the stuffing and nobody will ever see it. So this is what your finished snowman should look like. And he stands up. Okay, for the nose, we're going to make a magic circle with 6 single crochets inside of it. Not going to use a stitch marker because we only have 2 more rows and then we're done. It's just going to be a small nose. So for the next 2 rows, you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of each row, you will have 6 single crochets. One more row. Once you get it done, you need to turn it right side out. Then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Leave a long tail for sewing. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to move that. And fasten off. There's your nose. All done with the nose. Okay. For the legs, they're going to be short little legs. We are going to make magic circle with 6 single crochets, second round, we're going to put 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the next stitch. One single crochet in the third stitch, 2 single crochets in the fourth stitch. One single crochet in the fifth stitch and 2 single crochets in the sixth stitch. You should have 9 single crochets. For rows 3, 4, 5, and 6, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. You still should have 9 single crochets after each round. After this third round, you will need to turn your work right side out. When mine is finished, I'll be back. Oops, sorry about that. After you get done with your 6th row, slip stitch in the next stitch. Fasten off, leaving a long tail for sewing. The end to the magic circle, I just poked it down inside the leg. You will need to make 2 of these. For the long arm, we're going to put 6 single crochets in the magic ring. Now put 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 2 single crochets in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third stitch, 2 single crochets in the fourth stitch, 1 single crochet in the fifth stitch, and 2 single crochets in the sixth stitch. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around for 17 rounds. Once you get done with your third round, don't forget to turn your work right side out. And put your tail inside it when you can. When I get my 17 rounds done, I'll be back. Once you get done with that, put a slip stitch in the next stitch. Fasten off, leaving a long tail for sewing. And this is what your long arms should look like. One big tube. Okay, for his scarf, we're going to make a slip knot. And we're going to chain 50. And I'll be back when that part's done. Once you get the 50 chains done, now we're going to single crochet from the second stitch from the hook. Sorry about that. And we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch down the row, down the chain. You can put your single crochets in however you are used to doing it. But for me, I use the back bumps. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'll meet you at the end. When I get to the last single crochet, I do put another single crochet in there, or slip stitch. And I'll show you why in a minute. When you fasten off, leave a long chain, because we will put a couple stitches in it to hold it on to the snowman. At the starting end, it's round. See how it rounds off? Well, if you put 2 single crochets or a single crochet and a slip stitch at the end, it makes it so it's round too, and that's why I do it. So let's get ready to make his earmuffs. Okay. I'm going to make a magic ring with 6 single crochets inside of it. Now we're going to slip stitch to the beginning. Into that very first single crochet. Then we're going to chain 1. And starting in that very first, the same place you put your slip stitch at, we're going to put 2 single crochets. And then 2 single crochets in each stitch around. And slip stitch into that first single crochet. You should now have 12 stitches around. Chain 1. In the same spot, make 1 single crochet. Then 2 single crochets in the next spot. And that's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet in the next one and 2 single crochets in the following. You should now have 18 stitches around, and slip stitch into the first single crochet. Chain 1. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around in the back loops only. When you get done with that, you need to slip stitch into your first single crochet, and bend back the part where you slip stitched in the back loops, and then fasten off. And whoa, this is what you should have so far. This is a little ridge round outside. We need to make another one of these. So pause the video here and rewind it and make another one. But don't fasten it off. And when I get mine done, I'll be back. Okay. once you have the second one done, you need to chain 10. And we're going to slip stitch to the first one. Then you're going to slip stitch into the second stitch. And we're going to put a half a double crochet in each stitch across. You can put your half a double crochets in however you want, but I'm going to use the back loops. Okay. Once you have both of them done, and you have the half a doubles done, you need to make sure that your earmuffs are facing like this. So the open side is facing each other. And then we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch. And we're going to fasten off. And this is about what it's supposed to look like. It'll look better once we have it on. So now what you need to do is you need to weave in all your ends, and we'll move on. Make a magic ring. We're going to put 4 single crochets in the magic ring. Now we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. You should now have 8 stitches. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end you still should have 8 stitches. Now we need to turn our work right side out. In this round we're going to put 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochet in the next stitch. That's your repeat. 1 single crochet in the following stitch and 2 single crochets in the one after that. You should now have 12 stitches around. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and in the third stitch we're going to put 2 single crochet. That's your repeat for this row. 1 single crochet in the next 2, and then the third one, 2 single crochet. You should now have 16 stitches. In this row we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end you should still have 16 single crochets around. Time to decrease. So we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet, decrease. That's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet, decrease. You should now have 12 stitches around. In this round we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, then a single crochet, decrease. And that's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, decrease. You should now have 8 stitches. In this round we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of the 8 single crochet. We're going to pause here for a minute and we're going to stuff it. make sure you get your stuffing clear down into the tip of the light bulb. Okay, that's good for now. We're going to do one more row of decreases. In this row, we're going to do one single crochet in the first stitch, then a single crochet decrease. And that's your repeat for this round. One single crochet, then a decrease. You should have 2 single crochets left. We're just going to put 2 single crochets in the last 2 stitches, or 1 single crochet in the last 2 stitches. Then we're going to get out our black yarn. We're going to change colors. So start your last single crochet, but don't finish it. Instead, we're going to change our color to black. And then finish the single crochet. Then what I do here is I just fasten off my yarn, my red yarn. Then I take my black and my red and I tie it in a knot, double knot. Cut the excess yarn off. And then I just put the tails down inside. For the next 3 rows, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and I'll be back here to tell you what's next. Once you have your 3 rows done, slip stitch into the next stitch, and then fasten off. Leave a long tail for sewing. Then we're going to stuff this little black part. You might need to get a stuffing stick. Stretch it out a little. You're wondering what kind of stick I use? This stick. If you buy the really big bags of yarn, I think I buy 16 ounces. They come in those 16-ounce bags. Of course, anything will work. Pencil, probably your crochet hook. I've just always used this. Okay, that's good enough. So now what we need to do is we need to close the end a little bit. And if you can tell, just weave in and out in between your stitches. Then once you get all the way around, pull tight and it'll close that end. And then I just pick up a stitch and I make a knot. Then I go through the top and I push my needle down out the side somewhere. And I go through it one more time. And now I'm going to go right back up the black. And then we're going to leave it looking like that. And this is what your light bulb should look like, somewhere about. Okay, so first we're going to work on the nose. I'm not going to stuff it or anything, but I am. Let me just put it on there. So just find a spot in between the eyes, like so. I'm going to take the tail from the magic ring and I'm going to pull it through there. Okay, so I decided that I'm going to pin the nose on. It just makes things easier. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to move the camera. Okay, now we can sew this on. So we're just going to go down and sew it on in between the stitches. See if you can see where I'm going. My camera doesn't do really well with zooming in. That's where I'm going. I hope you can see that. I'm going underneath the two V's in the nose, underneath each stitch, and then I'm going back down into the next stitch. It helps to hide the yarn and doesn't show your stitches. And I think it makes your work look a lot better too. Flip on the nose, go underneath it. I'm going to tie these two together and cut off the excess yarn. And now I'm going to hide the ends. Go down in the same hole that your ends come out of and come out another hole. And do that one more time. Go down in the same hole and come out another hole. Now we pull on the yarn and cut as close as we can. And because of the fabric, it sucks it back in. And here is the nose, all done. Okay, so now get a piece of your black yarn. We're going to do the mouth. And come in through the side of the head underneath the eye. And then follow over, come up underneath this eye. Don't pull it too tight. I'm going to go back down. You can make your mouth however you want to. This is how I'm doing mine. Okay. This is how my mouth looks. This is how my face looks. Whoops. I'm gonna knot these two and hide the yarn. And when I'm done hiding the yarn, we'll move on to the scarf, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, once you have your scarf, we're gonna crisscross it in the front. Put like the crisscross right above your buttons. We'll take this little tail, we'll go ahead and stick it in. Take some of these pins just to hold down the sides so they don't go anywhere. Maybe one up here. So this is what it looks like so far with the pins in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, first of all, we're going to stick this one down inside. I'm going to go at every so many spots and just put in a little stitch. And then go as far as the needle will go. And put put in another little stitch, taking out the pins as I go. Let's come up right before the crisscross. And watch that tail, that other tail. Make sure it don't get in there. Then we're gonna come up here on the crisscross and we're gonna go around the neck. Like so. And I'm just going to continue to do this, putting a little stitch here and a little stitch there. All the way around, and then come back down here, and when I get this side done, I'll be back. Okay, I'm over to the other side. I'm going to put this last little stitch in, and then we want to take our yarn and meet up with the other yarn. And then we're just going to tie the two together in a double knot and hide our yarn in our work. While I'm hiding this, get a piece of green yarn ready and your earmuffs, and we'll do that next. I'll be right back. Okay. This is how your earmuffs are going to go on. And yes, on this part I do stuff the earmuffs just a little bit. First we're going to put a few pins in the top here to hold it down. And it won't take very much stuffing, just a little bit. And then we're going to pin earmuffs down as well. Got any of the stuffing sticking out, you can always fix that when we get around to it. Okay, so just like with anything else, we're going to go in from like the back of the head and pick up a loop. Make sure you've got enough of this yarn left to fasten off. And we're just going to go in every couple of stitches. Now, probably every stitch around the earmuff. put in another stitch to hold it down. You might get some stuffing coming out as you're doing this. And just pull on it. Just a little bit will come out. It'll be alright. As you come up to your pins, just take them out. Okay, I'm going to finish this side of the earmuff, and then when I get to the top I'll be back to show you how to do the top. Alright, now before we move on we need to stuff the other ear muff and get it all pinned down in place. On the top of the ear band, I'm just going to do what we did with the scarf and go every couple slots and put a stitch. Pulling the pins out as I go. Okay, so now I'm going to do this other earmuff, and when I get done with it, I'll be back. Okay, once you get your ear muffs on, this is what it should be looking like. Don't forget to tie your ends in a knot and weave them in your work, or hide them in your work. Don't forget to take your needle and pull up any part that looks like it's sunken in. You think we'll take a break and we will stuff the legs and stuff the arms. Don't put a ton of stuffing in the arms. But when mine are stuffed, I'll be back and we'll put them on next. Okay. Now we're going to do his legs. And we're going to put the leg like in the middle of the buttons and the scarf. And I suggest you use pins on this part too. They hold your leg in place and it makes it a lot easier. Oops, ran out of pins. I'll be right back. Okay. And this is about where I'm gonna sew my legs on. As you can see, he stands, or he sits on his bottom fine. And I'm just going to do with the legs like I did with the arms, or not the arms, I'm sorry, with the earmuffs. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to go on every stitch. And I'm going to try really hard to use the right end to the right leg. Can't believe I did that. Let's try this again, shall we? looks better. Can't be perfect all the time, I guess. And when you come to a stitch marker, just like before, we're just going to pull it out. So I'm going to sew my legs on, and then when I get close to being done, I'll come back and show you. What they should look like. Okay, I want to get your legs where you want them to be. You need to put your end, pull it out the same place that you pulled your first end out. Double knot them, and then hide your yarn. Just like we've done previously. In a hole, out another hole. In the same hole, out another hole. One more time. In the same hole, and out another hole. Pull on your work. Get as close as you can to it. And watch it suck back in. This is what you should have so far. And he should sit. Okay, so grab your arms. If you have not stuffed them, go ahead and stuff them lightly, and I'll be back when mine are ready. Once you get your arms stuffed, we're going to put the knot on the side. Well, first we need to get our darning needle. We need to sew the end in. we're just going to go underneath the stitches. Back and forth. And at the end, we're going to make a little knot. Just like that. Now we're going to place it right below the earmuff. We're going to take our pins and we're going to place them at the end. Just like that. And we're going to take and sew our arms onto our bodies. Come up in between the stitches, through the holes, and then we're going to bring our yarn out this way and down into the body. Just like that. We're going to do it again. Just like that. I'm going to keep going across until this part of your arm is sewed on. Okay. Put this back in here so I show you where I'm going. Okay, now we're going to put a stitch along the side. So see where I'm coming up? Then we're going to go down right beside the arm and we're going to put a stitch there. That'll hold it in place. And then we're going to come up the other side. And we're going to leave a stitch up here too. So once you have that done, pull your pins out, bring your end out the back, pull up his arm. His arm looks terribly long, but it won't here after a bit. So now we need to do the same with the other one. So first you stuff it, then we're going to close it shut. Don't forget to put your knot. And put it on your body, right underneath your earmuff. And pin it in place. And then sew it on like we did the first one. When mine's done, I'll be back. Okay. So I've got his arms done. And yes, it does look a little dorky, but it won't for long. What we're going to do is we're going to take this light bulb and we're going to sew it in between his hands. Something like that. So let's get on with doing that. This is the last step. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in through his arm, like right here, and go up to the end of his hand. Say right there, and pull the yarn through. Now remember to leave a long tail for sewing in the end later. Then we're going to find, this is the back of my work. See where I changed colors? We're going to put that at the back. So we're going to come in the light bulb and out the other side. And then we're going to go through the hand and out a hole. Now you need to pull that all tight. And you may have to hold the other end so it don't slip through. So once you get it pulled through, It should look something like this. So now what we need to do is we need to go down inside the same hole and try to come out a different hole in the hand. And then go through the light bulb all the way through in a different hole through the hand. Don't know if you can, I hope you can see this just fine. And out the same hole, well, out another hole, like right there. Just hold that tight and push the needle through and pull tight. Okay, so what this has done, whoops, dropped my needle. Okay, so this is what it has done so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, just a minute, I need to pick up my needle. Okay, so this is what we need to do. We need to go back in the same hole you came out of and do that all over again. Come out a different spot in the hand. Go through the light. Go in a different spot on the hand and out a hole. Just like that. Push all the way through. And then pull tight. We're going to do that one more time. Go in the same part of the hand. Go through the light bulb. Go through the other hand. This time, trying to come out the same hole your first end is out of. Okay, once you've done that, fluff up your hand just a little. You need to go ahead and knot these and hide your ends, and I'll be back when mine's done. Okay, there you go. Now you have a snowman holding a Christmas light. And he can sit up. I hope you've enjoyed my video. I hope you like and share my video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Be safe and have a good night. Bye.